Sankey from Crystal Computing, and I'm going to demonstrate the smart action to move a record in the OpenPages GRC solution. So the first thing is the OpenPages GRC platform does contain an option to move objects in the user interface, but that feature requires the user to have delete permission to execute it successfully. Now typically that's not a permission that's granted to end users, so either the client would usually ask a user to contact a central support team to perform that move, or they develop their own customization for an end user to perform the move directly. And that customization would run with the elevated permissions necessary to perform the move. But of course, that's now another customization that's implemented on each object being moved. So the Smart Action Move record can be used to move an object, and the Administrator's Guide for Smart Actions shows us how to format the Smart Action Cognos report. So the first thing is the first parameter is the command move record. The second parameter is going to be the resource ID of the event to be moved. Third parameter is the resource ID of the new parent. In this case, it would be a target business entity. And then the last parameter is the child types to be moved. So if we leave it blank, it will move all objects in a primary parent relationship with that event that are in the same folder. If we want to restrict it, then we can provide the object types that we wish to be moved. So let's take a look at the OpenPages solution itself. So the first thing is we'll have an event, and we'll add in two new fields to the event. One is move object yes or no, and the second one is what business entity do we want to move it to. So you can see at the moment this event's in Asia Pac. So let's move this one to, say, corporate. So that's the request, and we'll hit save. What the smart action will need to do is to run a report that finds that data that says move object equals yes, construct the formatted report, and then have the schedule run the report to execute the smart action. Before we do that though, let's take a look at what other data is linked to this event. So we've got an impact here which is in Asia Pac, and if we click on the issues tab, we can also see we've got an issue that's a direct child of that event as well. Now if we do, let's add an issue that's not a direct primary parent, and then as we do the move, you'll see that this one doesn't get moved. So we'll include this one here as well. So what we'll be looking for after the move is for that issue to remain as it is, but this one should get moved. So let's look at how we do the configuration very briefly. So in the scheduler, we create a schedule called move event. It calls the Smart Action Engine, so Java class name. And in this case, we'll have two reports. One is to move the event, and another one is to reset the fields back to blank. We could have one report, but for demo purposes, I'll do this as two separate ones. So let's take a look at move events. So this is the report. So the report is configured as move record. This is the resource ID of the event to move, and this is the target business entity. So a simple report to output that content. And then the second one is move event reset. So if we take a look at that report. So this is going to update run the update record command. Again, this is the event resource ID. For this smart action, it needs to know what field names and values. So we're going to have the move object field set to no and target business entity set back to blank. So let's go and run the smart action report, and let's see what it does. So move event and start job. Now we can monitor smart actions execution either from that schedule itself or just for all of them looking at the background processes. So you can see at the moment we've got smart action move event running. So this is the object move that's already performed, and then in a second you'll see that the reset has been done as well. Just give that a minute to run. So that's now completed. So if we go back to the event itself, let's take a look at what happened. So first of all, the request to move it has now been reset to no, and you can see that the event folder is in corporate. You can see the parent business entity is in corporate, and the loss impact is in corporate. So let's take a look at those issues. Okay, so the issue we wanted to move was this one. This is a primary child. But this issue was left where it is because it's not a primary child of that event. And again, in terms of all the logging, you can see in the activity log that these changes were performed by that smart action system user. So that concludes the demonstration of the smart action to move event. Any information or any further information, contact myself, Ian Sankey, at Crystal Computing.